I was talking to my daughter about the list of things that I've put up on YouTube and the little tidbits that I have shared, and she wanted to make sure that I did not forget to tell the story about the time that I took my stuffed animals on a ride to town with me and my mom and my dad. I was probably 6, maybe 7, but probably 6, and, excuse me, and my mom and dad announced we were going to go to town. My sister and brother hadn't been born yet, I don't believe, and I just had this brilliant idea that my stuffed animals are some select few, you know, the ones that were worthy and honorable, should go to town with us. So I went and I gathered them up. Well, what do you think I did? Put them in the car and strap them in and get ready to go? No. I had a driveway at this particular house that was kind of a circle drive, and depending on how you parked, the driver could get in the car without ever really seeing the rear end of the car, and I knew this. I knew this. And for whatever reason, I knew my dad wouldn't let them go to town, right? And that was cruel and mean because they wanted to go. And I wanted to go to town with them. So I went and I got a bunch of rope, and I tied it around their little necks, and then I tied it to the bumper of the back of the car. So my mom and dad are in the house getting ready to go. The way the car's parked, I'm back there just tying stuff up. And I probably have like 6 stuffed animals. My beloved stuffed animals. I mean, the ones that were near and dear to my heart and I slept with, and they kept me safe and blah, blah, blah. This was going to be a special treat. So my dad comes out of the house, and he's like, you know, what the hell are you doing back there? And I'm like, oh, nothing. So I come around and I get in the car. And then my mom and my dad get in the car, and then we circle on out and come around. He never had to go behind the car. So we bump on into town, and we have this beautiful old courthouse. Everybody's renovating courthouses. This is Canton, Texas, and we still have one of the original, and it is absolutely beautiful. And at this time, you know, it wasn't much different, I guess. It wasn't as populated, but it wasn't really, I guess, all that different. But anyway, we would go and we would drive the square and up the strip, and drive the square and up the strip and around the courthouse. And we did this. This was kind of a regular thing. They did like once a week, you know, maybe every Saturday night or something like that. Or if there was something going on downtown, a festival or something, you know. But this particular night, there was nothing going on. It was just a beautiful night, and they wanted to get out. So we go to town, and we're cruising, and they got the music playing. And this was an old Camaro, I want to say. It was it was like a little sports car. I want to say it was our Camaro. We had so many because my dad restored them. We had so many classics. Man, I'd give anything to give my hands on a pair of some of those now. But anyway, so we're cruising, and my dad sees this cop, and everybody knows everybody in the town this size, and he kind of waves at him, and the cop kind of waves back, and they go on, and then the cop comes back, and he hits his lights, and he pulls my dad over, and I'll never forget my dad. I'm not thinking it has anything to do with anything. I don't know what's the matter with the car or what my dad's done wrong, but it certainly has nothing to do with me. So I'm in the clear. So my dad gets out, and then he goes behind the car, and then they're pointing. And then I noticed that in the rearview mirror, my dad does not have a friendly expression. So he takes his pocket knife and he cuts everything loose. And he gets back in the car and he sits down and he just makes eye contact with me in the back of the rearview mirror. And my dad had these steel blue eyes, beautiful blue eyes. Wish I would have got them. Anyway, whatever. I like mine. But at that moment, I was toast. I knew I was toast. And my dad just laid all the stuff in my mom's lap. And she's like, what's going on? And so he explains that I had apparently decided to bring some stuffed animals along on the ride. And what I had done, blah, blah, blah. And so he's still making eye contact. And I am scared to death. I mean, if I'd had to piss, I would have went right there. And he says, we get home, I want you to go to your room, you're not having any supper, blah, blah, blah. But as an added punishment, he said, I want to show you something. He said, this is how the cop knew it was us to start with and kind of what got his attention. And he said, I want you to see this, talking to me. So we take off, and he goes around the square, and he's pointing out little stuffed animal parts. He's like, there's the head of my rabbit, and there's the arm of my bear, there's the dress of a penguin. There's just, because we kept making that particular circle, so everything was kind of there. And it was horrible. So I just thought they would go, they would air out. I just never, ever, ever, ever imagined they would fall apart in random pieces around the courthouse square. I just had no idea that would happen, and it was devastating. And I went to supper. I went to bed without supper, and I didn't get a spanking because he could tell that I was upset. I genuinely was shocked and so sad to see all the little body parts around the courthouse square that used to be my friends, and it was my fault they were all dead. It was horrible. I just wanted to take them for a ride. Just wanted to take them for a ride. Anyway, that's another little story. And now my daughter will be happy because she wanted this on here. So, there you are. Love you, Toots. Bye.